Hey everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right folks, so I thought I would just come in here, knock on my camera, sit down and talk to you about the shit week that I had last week. And trust me, it doesn't get any shittier, particularly for a movie collector like myself. It is the ultimate hell week. And yes, I thought I would just take a couple of minutes here to sit down and talk to you about everything that happened. So as I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, I have a Panasonic UB820 4K player in this room. And I told a few people that I noticed problems with it in the last few months. It was taking a while for 4K discs to load. But they would work. You know, it just took a while. You know, you'd have to kind of knock it on, knock it off, knock it on, knock it off, and then it'll start to work. So last Thursday, myself and Ellen came in here. We wanted to sit down and watch Evil Dead Rise. So I put the disc on and it wouldn't work. I actually spent 20 minutes. That's how patient I was to try and get it working, and I just could not get it working. So I said to myself, maybe it's just the disc. So I grabbed another movie out of my collection, I put it on, and lo and behold, that wouldn't work either. So my 4K player has finally packed in. And it's very, very strange because the 4K side doesn't work. But the Blu-rays, any Blu-ray, works perfectly on it. So yes, it's just the 4K only. And yes, finally packed in. Look, I knew it was coming, no big deal. Because I actually had an LG 4K player inside that had Dolby Vision on it as well. So I said, look, I'll bring that player in here and it'll do for now until I can find a new player. So the weird thing is, the Sony TV that I have in here, their implementation of Dolby Vision is very different to the implementation of the Dolby Vision on the LG player. And both weren't compatible, so the Dolby Vision wouldn't work on the player. And so I had to get rid of the LG player. And I was like, oh, no, don't worry about it, it's fine. I have my PlayStation 5. And then I did a bit of homework on that, and then I found out that the PlayStation 5 is not compatible with Dolby Vision either. So I had no choice. I had to go out and buy a new 4K player. And this is the player. Now, I had every intention in the world of going out and buying another Panasonic UB820 because it is hands down the best 4K player I've ever owned. But I started doing a little bit of homework on it, and I noticed there was a lot of complaints online about people saying that the 4K side of their players packed in. And bear in mind, folks, my player is only 3 years old. And I don't use it as much as you think. I think I might have said it a few times. I come into this room maybe twice a week. And when I say come into this room, I come into this room to watch movies twice a week. You know, we watch a couple of movies. It doesn't get used that much. So I decided not to get a Panasonic player. I said I'd go for something a bit different. So I opted for this one here. And this is the Sony X800M2. So I can't really say much in terms of, you know, the player itself. I haven't had it long enough. I've only had it now for a couple of days. But it looks very, very promising. The build on it, the build is so premium looking. And it definitely looks a hell of a lot better than the Panasonic. But in terms of features, the Panasonic, there's no better player than the Panasonic UB820. And I'm definitely going to miss that Panasonic player. But having said that, someday I might actually might actually send it into a place to get the disk drive fixed on it. So that option is there for me anyway. So yes, I have the Sony one here. The only problem I have with the Sony player, and I knew this going into it, is that the Dolby Vision on this player, you actually have to knock it on every time you want to use it. So you have to actually check your disc. And if your disc is Dolby Vision compatible, you have to knock it on the player. But then as soon as you finish watching the movie, if you want to watch SDR or HDR, you have to make sure that you knock off the Dolby Vision, because if you don't, you'll get this kind of weird anomaly, like it'll be Dolby Vision implemented over HDR or SDR, and what you'll get is like oversaturated colors. Everything will just look abnormal. So yes, that's the only one downside that I know as of right now when it comes to that player. But as I've checked out a few movies on it, the picture quality looks fantastic. The sound is equally amazing as well. So it is looking good at the moment, but again, too early to say anything. So I know what you are thinking. Big deal. 4K player packed in. It happens to everyone. And that's true. Now, the only thing there is, I have a Sony 65A90J OLED TV in this room. And I think it was around 5 months ago I knocked on Jordan Peele's Nope. And I noticed a weird anomaly with the picture. It only happens on real dark scenes, and as you know, Nope has a lot of dark scenes in it. But what was happening was, when the camera started panning, I started noticing white outlines appearing around objects. And it was only on a few scenes, it wasn't all the time, it was just a couple of scenes, and I thought nothing of it. But as the months went by, I started noticing it a little bit more. Now, it's going to be one of those things that, now that I'm aware of it, I can't stop looking for it. But it was last week then, when I finally got around to watch Evil Dead Rise, I realised how bad those outlines got. Because it was on nearly everything during that movie. It was horrible to look at. Like I said, it has to be a very dark movie. If it's a bright movie, you know, full of colour and all that, you won't notice the outlines at all. It has to be on a very dark. But trust me when I say, when you see it, you can't unsee it. And I've said this numerous times, folks, when it comes to me and OLED TVs. You know, I love the deep blacks that you get with an OLED TV. And I love watching movies like Evil Dead Rise and The Nun 2. Movies that are incredibly dark. That's where I don't know what it is, I just love looking at dark movies on 4K. So when you start seeing these outlines, it is horribly distracting. So yes, my TV is gone now as well. So the one saving grace that I do have with the TV, thank God, is I had a 5-year warranty on it. The TV is only 2 years old, and you know, this has happened already. And I'm very curious to hear if anyone has the same TV as myself. Did you notice this happening on yours? My brother has a 55-inch version, and I actually brought Evil Dead over to his house to have a look at it, and yeah, you couldn't make out the white lines on his. So it's definitely a fault on the TV. But 2 years, it should not happen. But like I said, I have a 5-year warranty. I have to send it back. I do have an actual LG OLED flagship TV in the house that doesn't get used that much, amazingly enough. So at least I can bring that into the room here and enjoy it for a while until my TV gets fixed. Well, I'm hoping they can fix it. If not, they're going to have to replace it. And the thing about the TV is, that Sony TV, it's 3 years old, I thought too. I think the model is 3 years old. My one is 2 years. My version of it is 2 years old. So I don't know if they're still available. So I'm kind of worried. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's been a nightmare, folks. To lose my player and lose my TV. Jesus Christ. I hope nothing happens to my sound system. You know, these things, they come in threes. I hope it doesn't happen in my case. So there you have it, folks. I just wanted to stop by here and just let you know about the shitty week that I had to go through. So I have the new 4K player. It's looking good at the moment. The TV still hasn't gone back yet. I'm currently just talking to them, and hopefully I'll get that shipped out to them or sent out to them, or hopefully they'll pick it up themselves. And fingers crossed I can get it back as soon as possible. So there you have it, folks. So as per usual, if you did like what you see here, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you could leave a comment down below. And like I said in this video, if you have the same equipment as myself, just let me know if you are having the same issues that I'm having. Such a shame. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.